Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you for joining a special edition of Community Talks, SIKH Channel's long-running series, where we meet a variety of people from all walks of life and from all parts of the world. Today, we are joined by a preeminent guest from Punjab University, Patiala, Dr. Stuti Malhotra. So let's meet Dr. Stuti and find out more about her. Dr. Stuti, welcome to SIKH Channel.
वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह. Thank you, Devinder ji, for having me here.
Thank you very much for joining us. Stuti, perhaps we can start with your early childhood. Can you take us through where you were born, where you grew up, and something about your childhood?
I'm born in Delhi, born and brought up in Delhi, but my paternal side belongs to Jalandhar, Punjab, and my maternal is from Delhi. And I've done my schooling from Delhi. So throughout, I have been in Delhi. I've done my schooling from a very reputed school, and thereafter, I did my graduation from Delhi University, and then I as for my career, I'm a finance person by background, and I did my MBA finance. Then I did my ICAEW, Institute of Chartered Accountant of England and Wales, and I have worked with the French collaboration for 5 years, and thereafter I worked with American Express for 14 years. So I have a total corporate work experience of 19 years, and thereafter I was always interested in studying religion. So one point of time I said I want to study. So post my IFRS, I enrolled myself for masters in Punjabi University Patiala, though I was staying in Delhi. So I used to go there and I did my master's in religious studies. And thereafter, I did my PhD from Guru Granth Sahib Department of Studies, Punjabi University Patiala. And the topic was Concept of Peace in Islam and Sikhism, a comparative study. So, Devinder ji, my journey has been very interesting, and I feel Vaheguru ji himself has guided me towards it. So I always wanted to study religion, and I would like to share that from my childhood, I don't know why, but I used to go to gurdwaras, and though I'm born in a Punjabi family, I used to go to gurdwaras, and I used to go there, and I used to sit from my childhood days, all of my own, and there was something which attracted me there, and it brought me peace and solace. So I used to sit there and listen to the Shabbats. I would like to share a very interesting incident that when I enrolled myself in religious studies, my husband used to be very worried that how I would manage going from Delhi to Punjab, and how would it be safe or not. So my mother was hearing the conversation. My mother was hearing the conversation between us. So she told my husband, please don't worry about her. I'll tell you something about her. So when I was about to be born, because my mother had to go to Jalandhar and she was working in Delhi, so she was 9th month pregnant. So, but she had to come back to Delhi because she was working and she had to sign some papers. So she took the train ticket and she boarded the train. And when she was talking to the ticket collector to please confirm the ticket so that she can get a seat so they can sit, there was a group of Nihangs who were sitting there in that compartment. And they were hearing my mother talking. And when they heard, they said, Bibi, tu chinta na kar, asi hai gya, tu idhar aa. And they gave the entire seat. It was a three-seater traveled from Jalandhar to Delhi, all lying down. And all those Nihangs were standing there so that nobody disturbs my mother. So my mother told this experience to my husband, and she told him that please don't worry about her. Six have been taking care of her even when she was not born. So I have a very interesting journey, and through people have been there to help me on all sorts of problems, whatever. My journey has been very eventful, and people have been there to help me out. So, and I would also like to share one thing, that in my, though I'm born in a Punjabi family, so nobody speaks Punjabi fluently. But somehow, I don't know how, I picked up the language. And I can speak and I can listen Punjabi well. So, and this has been my journey. And also, when I took my admission for my PhD, so interestingly, I was the only non-Sikh student, because at one we have to go for an interview, we have to go for an entrance examination. There's a whole procedure. So that is why I say I am blessed by Vaheguru, that he himself guides me and he supports me and he has been there throughout my journey. So I have a very, like I said, an eventful journey. So this has been my journey, that Vaheguru has
So your
blessed me himself.
your journey so far, and a lot more to come yet. You've achieved so much, and thank you for sharing that very inspiring story about your mother when she was carrying you in her womb. That's absolutely great, and how we've arrived at this point now. If we can go back a little bit to your career, can you tell us about that, your professional career? Because you seem to have given that up, and you've gone more towards the study of the Sikh faith. Can you tell us why you gave up such a good career? Because you're very educated, you did very well, and you studied hard, and you worked in a very large organization, MasterCard, uh, and for many years, but you gave all that up.
Yes, Devendraji, I, like I said, I have an work experience, corporate work experience of 19 years. So when I was working in American Express as a senior financial analyst, I had enrolled for my PhD side by side. But with the corporate life, I didn't want it to study because I didn't want it to get disturbed with anything else. So I spoke to my husband that I want to quit my job and I want to dedicate myself to study Sikhism. So he wholeheartedly said, yes, go ahead, you study whatever you want to. And I quit my job because I wanted to do entire justice to my PhD, and I wanted to study the religion in depth. Because with the corporate life, like you say, it's not possible to manage two three things side by side. So I wanted to dedicate myself to study the religion, go in depth to it, and then do seva.
That's tremendous, very inspiring, because many people get caught up in the corporate world. They start their career, and it is a bit of a trap. Once you're in a big corporation, you just carry on
Yes.
and on and on, and the decades pass, but you manage to break that mold and you've followed your passion, and that's tremendous. So, can you tell us about how you started your studies, and when you went to the Punjab University of Patiala, what sort of reception you received?
I received a very warm reception. I received, people were so happy that I've come, and I come all the way from Delhi. I used to travel by car, and people were so happy and they were so forthcoming to help me. And I when I did my masters, I had to attend my classes over there, so I was staying in a hostel over there. My teachers were very helpful. Everybody was, it was like everybody is just waiting for me to come. And it was so nice. And Devendraji, I'll tell you my a very interesting incident. When I enrolled, my HOD told me that when you come to the gate, there's going to be a girl with the star on her head. So you just meet her. So my journey starts. Then I had to do a Google to to understand what is a dastar. I didn't even know that. So my journey starts from there, that I didn't even know what, because in Delhi you don't use the word dastar, you use the word pagdi. So I did a Google because I was feeling embarrassed to ask to her, and and I had a friend who was so happy. She belongs to Anandpur Sahib, and she hugged me and she's like, Didi, thank you so much. And throughout, I was staying with her in the same room, sharing the same room, and I was there.
And you went back as a mature student. You studied much earlier in your life, had a career. You're going back as a mature student. Was it a different experience to being a student in your younger life?
Yes, obviously, it takes effort, that you have to start all over again. You do your, after your MBA finance, you get enrolled for your master, because it's passion. So it was, I was like, I want to read more and more and more and more, and I used to sit in the library for hours. And when tell me that the time is about to come to close the library, I used to feel, oh my god, now I have to go back. So because I wanted to study so deeply, and I was so involved into studying, that I really wanted to get into. So, and I have got all the help, all the everything, whatever I wanted, it was there for me. Like in a platter, Vaheguru had served me. You are studying, you're studying, the here is you. He eased my life, I feel, because going from Delhi to Punjab, it's a different culture, different language, different people. But everybody was so forthcoming. Like I said, Sikhs have always helped me. They have, even if I'm crossing a road and there is some vehicle passing by, I don't know from where, somehow a Sikh comes and he tells me to come aside and please take care of yourself. So I have been blessed, I feel. Vaheguru has blessed me. I am so thankful to my Vaheguru.
Thank you. And Dr. Stuti, if you can come on to your studies now, because you studied a particular element of the Sikh faith. You studied the Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji from the element of perspective of peace. And how did you find that? Can you tell us how you approached that? Because in some ways, the whole of the Holy Scripture, Guru Granth Sahib Ji, is all about peace, peace of mind, peace of soul. But I think you approach it from peace between people. Can you tell us about that and describe your study in detail?
Devinder ji, what fascinated me about the religion was oneness of God. That was something which just, so I was so I was, it was so provoking to me when I studied the Mool Mantra, when I studied Ik Omkar. Somebody asked me, what do you find, what do you like the best, and it suddenly came out of my mouth, sabna jiya ka ik data, so main visar na jaye. It is so beautiful that God is one, he is the creator. So that is what, that was so thought provoking, and that brought so much of solace to me. The religion, like you said, the entire Guru Granth Sahib Ji talks about peace, and it talks about universal brotherhood. And there is no sort of bias, prejudice, or superstition. There is equity. There is no differentiation based on caste, color, sex, or anything. And everybody is treated alike. That is the foundation of religion. That is so beautiful, and that has been given a practical aspect of langar, pangat, sangat, that everybody remembers the name of Almighty and they sit together with humility, sitting on the floor, and they eat the food what Vaheguru has blessed us with. I feel that if follows the basic tenets of the Sikh religion, then there would be peace. if one becomes God oriented. The basic tenets, Naam Japna, where one is in communion with his creator. Kirat Karna, when one earns his income honestly with all the hard work. And then one Chakna, when whatever you have earned, you share with the needy. This is so beautiful and so practical. Our gurus have given us such a practical formula. Also, the concept of hukam. Everybody is facing problems today. There is depression, there is all sorts of problems and sufferings. But if one takes tera pana meetha lage, then there is no problem, there is no stress, there is no depression. That means whatever the problem is there, it has been ordained by God. It is the creation plan of my Vaheguru, and if we follow that, then there is no problem. Also, I feel what brings peace is when you follow the tenet of foregoing the homage. The all the problems in the world I feel are because of negativity, ego. When one gets over the jealousy or the ill feeling and surrenders to the Vaheguru in the name of his hukam, then there is no problem. And then everybody is Nanak Naam Chardi Kala.
Dene pane sarata pala. Absolutely.
Sarvata Pala. It is so
And
beautiful.
this is the Guru Granth Sahib Ji is so far ahead of its time, and it gives the
Yes.
whole world a new direction, and it can solve a lot of our current issues with climate, with intolerance, with inequality, all the issues that the world community is facing. There is a solution for all that in the Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. How can we project this message better to other communities? You're from Punjabi origin. You are connected to the Sikh community, so it's in some ways natural for you to go along this path. But there's other people around the world who won't know about the Sikh faith or the Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. What steps can we take as a community to try and engage others?
Devinderji, this is a very important question. I also felt that now I'm done with my doctorate. What should I do? I've left my corporate life also. So now I do seva in the form of I write for leading newspaper. My articles come in the newspaper because we uh, I write in English so that the message goes across to everybody. So when I write and I get a feedback, oh, this is written in Guru Granth Sahib, this is there in Sri Guru Granth Sahib. I say yes, this is very much there. So I feel we need to propagate the message. We need to tell what our gurus have taught us. See, there is a practical demonstration though. The concept of Sarbadda Pala, whenever there is a problem, there is a calamity, a Sikh community is the first one to go and help. But that's a practical thing. One, we need to go and propagate the message by writing more. And our Sikh scholars have done a wonderful job. But for this generation as well, it is the responsibility that we write and we propagate the message in the contemporary language, in the contemporary with the contemporary examples. Like I wrote some time back on ecology. I wrote some time back on interfaith dialogue by which was followed by Guru Nanak Dev himself. So when we write and when we present that to the people, like you said, I have a inclination towards the religion because my I have a paternal side. But yes, even when I tell my husband about things, then he's amazed. He said, okay, it is there in the religion. I said, yes, it is there in the religion. And I tell him the janam sakhis. So he himself gets fascinated. Oh, tell me something more. So that is what we need to do. We need to write, we need to come in the mainstream. And I think your channel is doing a wonderful job. I've seen the videos. It is so nice that you are propagating the message of Sikhi, and I want to congratulate you for that. It is so beautiful, and we just need to do that. We need to come into the mainstream, and we need to give the message to people who are not familiar. They are familiar with langar, that anybody can go to a gurdwara and anybody can sit and they can partake the food. But we need to go beyond that. We need to say what our gurus have taught us. We need to talk about the janam sakhis also, that they have given a practical demonstration. So that is what we need to do, I feel.
That's tremendous. Thank you very much, Dr. Stuti. You are an inspiring individual, and I think we should make available a regular slot on the Sikh Channel international broadcast for you to perhaps reach more people and invite some of your colleagues and other students from your doctorate course to come along and participate and share their knowledge and share their inspiring journeys.
Thank you so much, Devendraji, for giving me the opportunity. And I'm really thankful to you. Thank you so much. And it is my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Dr. Stuti, I'd like to give the final word to my guests, and perhaps I can put another question to you, and you can put that part of your conclusion. That is, some people say it's not possible to translate the meaning in its entire sense and to properly explain the message of Guru Granth Sahib Ji into the English language. Does it translate for you? Does it work or not? Or do people really need to understand Gurmukhi and be able to recite and learn Gurmukhi in its fullest sense? And in the English translation, some of it does get lost. What do you think?
Devendraji, I feel that one should learn Gurmukhi as well as English. So when you are reading in Gurmukhi, then you are able to understand. But when we need to spread the message, when you need to propagate, when you need to do a seva, you have to do in the contemporary language. Like Guru Gobind Singh Sahib said, that Shri Guru Granth Sahib should be spread like oil spreads on water. Same way we need to propagate and spread the message. But yes, we need to spread we need to read the scripture in the local language, so that we are able to understand ourselves. And when we understand the basic meaning of it, then we can surely go for it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And it is important to engage lots of different types of people, and often language can be important for people to grasp the meaning and understand it, and we support your work. Dr. Stuti, thank you very much for sharing your amazing journey with Sikh Channel. And we hope you'll become a regular contributor, and any further articles, we'll be pleased to share them on our very considerable social media. Please do keep in touch. And finally, what is your message to the Sikh Channel audience worldwide?
My message is that we should not be confined in celebrating the Gurpurabs and doing the celebrating the festivals, but we should adopt the teachings and the message of our gurus in our life. And when we do that, trust me, there is going to be peace. There is going to be a chardi kala for everybody. So we should not be confined just to celebrating Gurpurab and think that we've done our part. We need to study, and we need to understand and need to practice in our own life. An individual makes a society. So when every individual goes for it, formulates this formula, then there is going to be peace in the society. So I feel that it is our utmost duty to study. Our gurus have sacrificed so much for us, and now it is our duty to study and propagate the message and implement in our own life.
That's tremendous. Thank you very much. And we echo your message, and we like to support your future work and your future seva as well. Please do keep in touch. It's been an absolute pleasure to interview you, to meet you virtually. We hope one day perhaps you'll visit us here in the United Kingdom, come to our headquarters, our studio, and visit the Sikh community here in the UK. It'd be lovely for you to come and meet everybody. Dr. Stuti, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Devinder ji. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ